Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock. It's time for another video. It's 9 o'clock specifically on a Sunday. You're watching this on a Sunday, and it's time for a review show special. Now, what is a review show special? Well, basically, it's where I take a deep dive into a particular creator, a particular company, and I kind of basically tell you everything that you need to know about one particular product or one particular line of products. And today, I'm going to do something I haven't done for a little while. I'm going to do a review show special on Penguin Magic. Now, if you don't know who Penguin Magic are, you've been living under a rock. They have become the largest magic shop in the world. They have millions of customers, it feels like, and they are one of the most prolific magic shops in the world in that they release something literally every single week. In fact, as a reviewer of magic, I can pretty much spend my entire time reviewing Penguin Magic and nothing else. So today I'm going to look at three Penguin items that have come out very recently. I'm going to talk to you exactly what you need to know about these three items, tell you whether they're any good or not. Now, one thing that I do want to say is obviously I'm very closely affiliated with Penguin Magic. I'm the creator of the year, 3 years in a row with them. I've released a lot of magic with them, and I know the guys at Penguin personally. That does not mean this is not going to be a completely honest review. I'm going to give them my full honest opinions. It's going to be unbiased completely. With that being said, we're going to get straight into it right now with the first review. Okay, so the first trick we're going to be looking at today is the ImpossiBalloon by Robert Gray and Robert Ray. The ImpossiBalloon. So what is the ImpossiBalloon? Well, basically, you look at the trailer and you can take a sponge ball and you can take a balloon, and it's a see-through balloon, so you can have the balloon, they can see inside it, they can see everything. You take the balloon, you take the sponge ball in this case, and you visibly push the sponge ball into the balloon, at which point it can be examined. You can hand it out, they can look at it, and they can see that it really is in there. That is effectively the trick. So what's it, is it any good? Well, actually, before I say if it's any good, let's have a look at a performance of Ryland doing this. Now, one thing I do want to point out is this was shot after Ryland had just spent about 2 hours rehearsing Sands of the Desert. So if you know anything about Sands of the Desert, if you do it once, it makes your hands a little bit dirty. You do it 10 times, and it's going to make your hands filthy because of how the method works. So it's not that he's been digging in a coal mine or he's been changing an engine in a car. This is what happens if you practice Sands of the Desert for 2 hours. But I wanted to show you this performance because it shows you exactly what ImpossiBalloon looks like. So let's have a look at performance of Ry doing the ImpossiBalloon. So that is an accurate performance. So what do I think about this? Well, first of all, you might have seen something similar to this. There is a classic trick called silk in balloon, where a silk goes into a balloon, and it shares similarities with this. There are differences, absolutely, but there are similarities in some way as well. So if you've seen silk in balloon, there are similarities with this. What this has going for it is a couple of things. First of all, the silk in balloon is quite a difficult trick to pull off. And one of the reasons it's a difficult trick to pull off is because you're dealing with a whole silk handkerchief. So, you know, some products will have a gimmick that you can use to very quickly vanish the silk. If you look at S-Ray, for example, that's a perfect example. Sometimes you'll be using a thumb tip and then, you know, but they can't actually see the item going inside. It's just perceived. While with this, that's not the case. Now, there's also a few other differences that I'm not getting into right now. But yeah, there are similarities. Now, the tutorial is very, very different to a normal Penguin tutorial. Normally, you can tell a Penguin tutorial a mile off. It's filmed at the P3 Theatre. It normally follows a very set format. This is very different. It's Robert and Robert basically standing around, chatting, talking, and they're not in P3 as far as I can see. Now, there's nothing wrong with that at all. They are very knowledgeable. They cover everything they need to cover, and you can tell that they're very, very proud of this trick. Now, in terms of the practicalities, what you just saw Ryland do, That's exactly what it looks like. You can literally take any item and you can put it inside the balloon. Now, the balloon is not examinable at the beginning. However, it is examinable at the end. So once the object has gone into the balloon, everything is examinable. Before the object goes into the balloon, the object that's going into the balloon is examinable. The object that's the actual balloon is not. So that's something you want to bear in mind. Honestly, I'd rather have my item examinable afterwards than before if there's examinability issues, but that's something that you are going to need to know. They spend a long time in the tutorial explaining how you can actually do this with lots of other things. So it doesn't just have to be a sponge ball going into a balloon. There's so many different items and so many different objects that they talk about, including an egg, a real egg. I was thinking, right, okay, they're either going to use a sponge egg for the one part or a sponge egg for the other part. No, it's a real egg. They've worked out a way of doing this with a real egg, which is just simply insane. It really is. It's nuts. Yeah, and the tutorial is very brief because it's a very easy trick to do. Once you understand the setup, because you are going to need to set up the balloon, the setup takes about 1.5 to 2 minutes. You got to blow up the balloon, do something. It's not a very long setup. I've got it down quite quickly now. But you know, the actual effect is very, very easy. Once you set the balloon up, it's literally just a case of doing it. It's not a difficult thing at all. So the big question, or the multi-million-dollar question, is: do I like it? Would I recommend it? Well, the short answer is yes, I do like it, and yes, I would recommend it. The one negative, it's not a negative, but it's something that you need to know, because I'm going to tell you exactly where I plan on doing this. And Ryland's kind of got the same mindset as me. So in order to tell you where I'm going to do it, I'm going to give you the big negative of it. Or not a negative, but something that you need to be aware of, which is if you're doing this in a show, for example, obviously the balloon has to be set beforehand. You couldn't just set this up but you couldn't take a non-blown up balloon, blow it up in front of the audience and do this trick. Okay, you just couldn't, unless you were going to switch the balloon or something after it's been blown up. The balloon has to be blown up and in position. What I mean by in position is it has to be ready for you to grab in a particular way. Now, there's a few different ways of doing that, and using elastic bands and using various different things and bits and bobs. But if you're working a show out of a case, or you've got wings, it's very, very easy to just go into the wings and take this balloon, or go into your case and take the balloon, and then you're in position. And because it's a see-through balloon and they can see your hand through it from the other side, there's nothing to see. It looks absolutely fine. And then you've got the object and boom, it goes in, right? But you are going to have this balloon set up ahead of time. That's something you need to bear in mind. Now, the reason I tell you this is maybe not the most appropriate trick for mix and mingle. If you're going, and you can't do this over and over and over and over again unless you prep 10 balloons. Where I think that if you were going to do this close-up, it would be good, would be to do a one-off performance to a VIP or a CEO, maybe the bride at a wedding, and do this as a one-off thing and give them the balloon as a souvenir. And that, my friends, is where I think this is going to be golden for me and my show, and Ryland and his show. I do a trick called the Great Big Family Sponge Ball trick. Ryland does it in his show as well. It's one of my favorite routines to perform. If you've got my book, Absolute Madness, you will see a full performance of the trick in there, and you'll also see a write-up of how the trick's done. I love it because I can get 7 or 8 minutes out of having a kid up on stage, and just with 3 sponge balls, I've got this incredible routine. And it doesn't use any of the typical phases that you use with normal sponge ball routines. And the whole effect of the trick is that you're trying to make this ball change colour, which eventually it does. I love that routine. I perform it all the time. I love I can get 8 minutes out of 3 sponge balls. I love and I always bring the birthday kid up to do it. If it's a birthday show, I bring the birthday kid up. I make a big fuss of the person that comes up and helps me. Now, here is where I think ImpossiBalloon will work brilliantly for me. At the end, I'm left with a sponge ball. One sponge ball that has eventually changed colour. Yay. I love the idea of going into my case and saying to the kid, you know, you did a really great job. I think you need a prize, right? Should we get him a prize? Yeah. But let's get you a magical prize. Let's get you a prize that you're going to be able to keep forever. something that you can't get anywhere else, something you can't go into a shop and buy. Wait there. And then go and get the balloon from my case and say, look, this is a balloon. This is a ball. I'm going to try and create an impossible object. I'm going to try and push the ball into the balloon and then give it you as a souvenir. So you get to keep this forever. And every time you look at it, you can remember this magic show. Watch, 1, 2, 3, boom, look at that. Is that really in there? Yes, it is. Be careful with it. It's a balloon. You don't want to pop it, but there you go. That's for you. That's where I think this will work great. Giving that souvenir out to that spectator. I think this is worth the price of admission and then some. Now, it's going to require a few pence. I mean, I can get 50 sponge balls these days from Penguin and Murphy's for like next to nothing, thanks to Austin Murphy and Penguin's obsession with sponge balls. So I can get sponge balls very, very cheaply. I could also get the balloons that they actually use for this are simply just needle-through balloons, which are actually really cheap as well. So for just a few pence, I can have this amazing giveaway at the end of one of my favourite routines. So for me, this is absolutely 100% going into my set and staying in my set. Are there a couple of negatives with it? Yes. Do the positives absolutely outweigh the negatives? Yes. I'm giving this 100%. Ryland wanted me to let you know he's giving this 100% as well. It's really good. So there you go. That is ImpossiBalloon. I would highly recommend it. Just be aware of the performing limitations when you pick it up. It also looks great on social media. Rye put it on social media and got like hundreds of thousands of views on it. So it's it's a great social media trick as well. But there you go. That is ImpossiBalloon. Let's move on to the second trick in this week's Penguin Magic Review Show special. So next up we have from Eric Casey, the Princess Test. Now, what is the Princess Test? Well, the Princess Test is the third version of the Test series by Eric Casey. If you don't know what I mean, Eric Casey a few years ago brought out Poker Test, which is a fantastic trick, and I know a lot of people do it, where you have 5 cards, you show them as blank, you then show the backs are red and kind of framed as an observation test, and one of the cards changes into a 10, all of the cards change from blank into a royal flush, and then the cards on the back are blue instead of red. It's a beautiful trick, and it stood the test of time and become a kind of a little bit of a modern classic. Then what followed then is the Oil and Water from the Test series, where you can show that you've got, I think, 6 cards. There's 3 red, there's 3 black, and you mix them up, and yet even though you mix them up, they separate, and you can do that on the front, and you can do that on the back. Again, it's a wonderful trick. It's a very, very, very good effect, and I've done that many, many times in shows, and it gets a great reaction. So both of those are great. And then we have the Princess Test. Now, if you've got any of the other Test series by Eric Casey, you will know the methodology here already. But what Eric has done is he has taken the concept and applied it to the Princess card trick. Now, if you don't know what the Princess card trick is, it's been around for years and years and years. It's a classic at this point. Many people do it. There's a million different variations on the Princess card trick. It feels like every year there's another couple of variations, but they all follow the same sort of principle, which is typically specially printed double-ended cards that allow you to do the routine. Now, Princess Test does not have specially printed cards. The cards are specially treated, as you would know if you know the Test series, but they're not specially printed. This is the first version of the Princess card trick that I've seen where you can show the full faces of all of the cards if you want to, which is a big plus, if you ask me. Big plus. Now, before I carry on talking about it, I'm going to show you a performance. I did this to Ryland. You can have a quick look at the trick, have a look at what you think, and then after that, we'll bring it into we'll bring it back here, and I'll tell you exactly what I think. Okay, so check this out, right? I have 5 cards. I've got Ryland behind the camera. Can you see the 5 cards?
Yes.
Right, I'm going to give you 2 seconds to think of one of them. 1, 2. Have you got one, right?
Got.
You got one, brilliant. I'm going to read your mind. I'm going to tell you the card you're thinking of. Concentrate on the card, concentrate on the card. I think I'm going to take one card out and put it on the table. Keep it in view so I'm not cheating. I think I've got it. I've still got 4 cards here. I think I've got your card. Would that be good?
Yeah.
Look, is your card gone?
Yeah. absolute miracle worker. I knew I'd got your card. That is mind reading magic. Is this? If I take your card and snap, your card completely disappears. What?
So that is a performance of the princess test. That is exactly what it is. And it's very, very direct. Let's look at the positives first of all. So everything fits inside an envelope in your pocket and you are good to go. It is pretty much instantly reset. So you can then do it again and again and again and again. And the displays of the cards are great because they see the 5 cards. You could show the full face of every single one of the cards if they wanted to. I love the fact that you take one card out and put it in their hand. And then you say, hey, is your card gone? And they go, yes, and you put it away. And then you have that moment where the card in their hand turns blank. You don't normally get that with a lot of princess card routines. A lot of the princess card routines is, think of a card, I'm going to take one and put it in my pocket. Let me show you the others. Did I get it? Yes, I did. Boom. It's kind of that sort of thing. I like how they've added a blank card kicker that you can take that blank card out, pop it down, and have that card, have their selected card turn blank. I think that's really smart. When I first opened it and I looked at it and I first watched the tutorial, I was kind of thinking to myself, this is good. This is really good. But does it have any advantages over a normal princess card routine? But then as I went through the tutorial and I began to realize exactly what's going on here and what's at play here, I began to realize, yes, actually, this has a lot of advantages over a normal princess card trick. And it does. Now, if you've never seen the princess card trick before, it just works. It's just a trick that works. Now, I was doing it over the internet. The internet is probably not the best place to do the princess card trick. It's more of a trick to do it live. It's more of a trick to do live in person, and especially to kind of groups of people. It works for a one-on-one. It works for groups of people. This version is especially good because of that blank card kicker. And the fact that you can show very fairly fronts and backs every single card. And you might not think that's a big deal, but for me, that's a big deal. Look, here's the thing. I suppose ultimately you need to know whether I'm actually going to do this, whether I think this is worth doing. Here's the thing, and I can't give this a higher recommendation. Despite the fact that I have studied the princess card trick for years, despite the fact that I've learnt so many different variations of the princess card trick, I don't actually do the princess card trick, ever. However, I would do this. In fact, it's gone into my close-up case. I have 3 gigs this weekend, all close-up gigs, and I am 100% going to give this a go. I'm 100% going to try this a couple of times and see how it goes. Now, it's one of those tricks as I'm reviewing it where I'm thinking, I don't know 100% if it's going to stay in my repertoire, but I'm prepared to give it a go. There's some tricks that I review that I can appreciate, but they're just never going to even get tried out in front of the real world. There's some tricks that I just look at and I go, that's going to stay in my repertoire for the rest of my life. This one, it's like, yeah, it's good. I'm going to try it out and see what the reactions are like from the audience before I decide where to go with this. But as a reviewer, I'm going to give it 89%. It does exactly what it needs to do. The tutorial is great. You've got Eric Casey on there, but you've also got the legend himself, Mr. Eric Tate, and Eric, the two Erics. Between them, they're going to cover everything that you need to know. The learning curve is very, very quick in this one. It's not going to take you that long to do. If you've already got a test routine in your repertoire, if you've already learned one of the other test routines, honestly, you could do this straight away. In fact, I took it out of the box, and before I even watched the tutorial, I was like, yeah, I see exactly how this is done. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing, because the fact that they've taken the test technology and built it into this trick is clever, smart. So yeah, really like it. 89%. I'd recommend it to anyone who wants to put a princess card routine into their act. Now we're going to go for the final review. Okay, we've got one final thing to look at today, and the final trick to look at today is the invisible harmonica. The invisible harmonica, which is, nuts, frankly. Absolutely, completely and totally mental. I was on the Penguin booth at Magic Live, and I learnt this trick at Magic Live because people were coming up and asking about it. and we sold out legitimately. I think the day before the final day, we sold out of all of the invisible harmonicas. And I saw people in the bar just picking up pint glasses and harmonicering them and a whole bunch of different stuff. And I think that is what this trick is all about. It's fun. Is this going to be the trick that's going to be the new closer for your show for the rest of your life? No. But is this a fun EDC kind of moment of strange? Absolutely. Paul Harris would call this a moment of strange, because it is. Now, I got a video of Ryland doing this at the House of Secrets, but after he'd set up his show, before the audience came in, we got him to stand behind the bar and just harmonica a few things. So let's have a look at this. This is the invisible harmonica as performed by Ryland.
I'm at the House of Secrets. I'm going to try to play as many things as I can, random things, in 30 seconds. Ready? Go! Pringles can. A 4. Pack of Haribo. A straw. Pack of playing cards. And finally, my dad's phone charger.
So there you go. That's invisible harmonica. Yeah. You can harmonica anything. You can literally just pick up anything and harmonica it. So where would you use this in your show? Well, this is not, as I said, one that you want to build up to as the final moment. You don't want to go, right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is now time for the invisible harmonica. Watch this. That's not the time for that. This is, I could see people using this as a running gag. I could see people using this, just like I said, as a moment of strange. I could see social performers using this in like social situations to give people kind of the WTF moment, like, what did I just see? Really? Did that just happen? I think there's a lot of fun places that you could do this. Now, and I don't know why this hasn't appeared in any like internet viral prank videos yet. I could just imagine, some sort of YouTuber going and YouTuber or TikToker going, hey, I've got an invisible harmonica, and I'm going to see if I can like invisible harmonica somebody's dog, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I mean, I could see you working on social media as well. In terms of the actual gimmick, it's very, very clever. It's a classic gimmick that's been adapted to be able to do this. And how the gimmick works is it's completely resettable every single time. So when you want to do this, you just put your hands in your pocket and you're going to steal the gimmick. Because of how the gimmick is constructed, your hands will look empty, so you can flash your hands empty, and yet the gimmick is right there. You can then pick up anything, or you could use an invisible harmonica and do the thing, and then immediately your hands are going to be seen empty. And then you could go and pick something else up and harmonica that, and all you have to do is ditch the thing that you're using in a pocket or somewhere, and then once you've ditched it there, you're clean and then you're good to go anywhere else. I could see this working as a card trick. So, like having them pick a card and having them draw a musical instrument on there, and then saying, right, I'm going to try and find your card. Okay, now, because you drew a musical instrument on it, it should be easy for me to find, because all I have to do is I just have to pick up the cards and see if I can play them. And you pick up a few cards. No, I can't play that one. Can't play that one. Can't play that one. Oh, hang on, I can play this one. What was the name of your card? Yep, there's the one. I think you just need to think outside the box with this. There's so many different things that you can do with it. Ultimately, just like with Princess Test, this is a very, very easy trick to do. The learning curve is not steep. It's very shallow. So you're going to be able to take this, excuse me, watch the tutorial, take it out of the box, and you are going to be good to go. The tutorial's great, as you would expect from Penguin Magic. The gimmick is good. It does exactly what it needs to do. The bottom line is, if you want to be able to pick up any object and play it like a harmonica, then this is the trick for you. You are not going to be disappointed when you open up the procs and you see what it is. You're not going to be disappointed at all. So now it's really ultimately up to you if this is an effect that you want to include in your set, in your act, in your performance. For me, This is the sort of thing that I might do. Again, this is a little bit like the princess test for me. I think this could fit my style. I do like doing crazy moments just off the cuff for no reason at all. And I could see, picking up somebody's phone and harmonicaing it and putting it down and going, oh, that's weird. Could fit into my style, but I'm going to try it in front of a real audience first, see what I think of it, see if it fits my style, try and see what the audience reactions are like, and then I'm going to make a decision based on that. As it stands, I'm going to give it 86%. I think it's very, very good. I can recommend it, and it does exactly what it's meant to do as advertised. So there you go. That's the Invisible Harmonica. That's your third trick today from the Penguin Magic Review Show Special. So that's another Review Show Special in the bag. Thank you once again for joining me right here on Magic TV. Now, don't forget, you want to see more videos like this, all you got to do is like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. I'm going to be back again very, very soon with another video. If you didn't already check the Q&A out, go check out the Q&A today because there was some good stuff covered on the Q&A. I'll be back next week with another Review Show Special. Like I said, I'm going to be back tomorrow with a 5x5, and this is a really, really, really interesting 5x5. So make sure you look out for that. If you haven't already joined the Netrix, please do so. It's my online streaming platform for magicians. Just go to the netrix.com. Don't forget, on Saturday just gone, I interviewed Nicholas Lawrence. I took a break over the summer from the Talk Magic series on a Saturday, but it is now back, and I've already got 3 interviews in the bag, so look out for these interviews coming soon. Nicholas Lawrence kicks off the latest season. Join the Netrix, subscribe to Magic TV. I love you all. Thanks very much. My name's Craig, and this is Magic TV.